We're really excited to be here to make this big announcement today. And we're grateful so many of you are here. I see a number of community leaders and stakeholders, friends, partners, family to be here with us. So thank you. Thank you. We have a very robust program with lots of folks to talk to you about what's going to happen here and the vision for the future. So with that, I'm going to kick off today's proceedings and introduce you to Dr. Frida Lacey, who is the first vice chair of the Montgomery College's Board of Trustees. Thank you very much.
I'm going to get to my talking points in just a second, but I'm so excited about this. I was talking to Craig Rice, and he said when he was on the General Assembly, they were talking about this in 2006. It's now 2022. How many years later? But sometimes it's worth waiting, isn't it? Because look at what we have here today. I'd like to say on behalf of the college's Board of Trustees, we are very grateful for the generous support of the county and the state in advancing this important project. As you know, fueling the economy with a robust, ambitious workforce is an investment with a vision. Matching employers with the talent and training they need in order to expand the impact of the region is unquestionably a long-term investment in the community. Residents live and work in their home communities when they trust that they can advance there. There are employees right in this neighborhood with job openings in informational technology, healthcare, hospitality, and much more. There are also residents living in this community who are eager to fill these jobs once they have the right education and training. I know this because I grew up in a not integrated community, but an all-Black community in Norfolk, Virginia. And if it wasn't for Norfolk State College, I wouldn't be here today. I would not be here today. They had a national defense loan, and I could walk to the college. That made me the person I am today. This education center will empower both groups, residents and employers, to maximize their potential, creating opportunity, enhancing equity, and increasing the innovation for which Montgomery County is known. Thanks to everyone who has had a role in getting us to this starting point. Thank you so very much.
Welcome to the start of our next phase here in this exciting journey that you heard started so many years ago. It's so tempting to think of kind of quote unquote opportunity as something that exists almost in the ether. But the people here today, you know the truth, right? You have been on this journey. Discovering what a community needs and wants is fundamental to designing what we call opportunity. The architects of such plans have to listen intently. They must also plan meticulously. And many of you gathered here today have been working behind the scenes for years, measuring, evaluating, testing, organizing, and that level of commitment is what it takes to empower people to change their lives. And with that said, I'd like to thank the tireless efforts of so many, including our county executive, Marc Elrich, Montgomery County Council President Gabe Albornoz, and Montgomery County Council members Craig Rice, Nancy Navarro, and Will Jawando, of course. Their support of the college and their vision for Montgomery County has been transformational. The support of employers such as Dr. Anthony Stahl, who's with us today, who we'll hear from momentarily, the president of Adventist Healthcare White Oak Medical Center, is essential as we build the workforce of today and the workforce for the future. The community, as we know, has long advocated for the role for Montgomery College to have a role in East County in order to advance the quality of life here. and with our local citizens, such as Peter Myokin, chair of the East County Citizens Advisory Board, and been such an essential community member. The college, I think we all know, has long valued our partnerships with Montgomery County Public Schools and Adventist Health, and the East County Center is an opportunity to deepen and strengthen our partnerships. We are all committed to providing easy access to post-secondary education for local high school students and to enhancing the healthcare talent pipeline. And we know that it doesn't stop with just those two groups of high school students and healthcare pipeline. We know that there are so many residents and so many fields, so many careers and professions that we are seeking to touch, that we are seeking to amplify here in Montgomery County. A place where economic mobility is within everyone's reach. Right? I'm going to repeat that. A place where economic mobility is within everyone's reach. And so at this point in time, I am going to turn it over to our county executive, Mr. Marc Elrich.
So this is a really exciting day for Montgomery College, and it's an exciting day for the East County. I want to remind people of a few little factoids. When I came in 3 years ago, I said I would get the projects over here unstuck. The Gateway project on New Hampshire Avenue, unstuck. The project right across from these buildings here, the town center, unstuck. Burtonsville, unstuck. All those things going forward. And I said I was going to open up an East County campus because we all knew what the racial implications of this are. And the county has got a great institution. It needs to be present in all parts of the county. High school students over here have to be able to take advantage of the college the way high school students elsewhere in Montgomery County are able to take advantage of Montgomery College. And so this opens up opportunities for our high school students while they're in high school. It opens up opportunities when they get out of high school. It sends a message to the community that you matter and that you're going to get the resources and that everybody else is getting. It is hard to look at this place as a desert and feel like things have been equally distributed here. The county made a decision a long time ago to focus west and not east. We could have easily built 2 boulevards. Wisconsin Avenue was great. We could have replicated that over here. We didn't. It's time to get down to work and do the projects that we need to do. And I'm really excited to being here. And I'm really happy with the cooperation from Montgomery College. Like everything else we've tried to do, nothing happens with like, can you do it? And people say yes. People have to study it. And I get that. But after the end of the study, they were able to determine that this is a reasonable thing to do and it's feasible. So I'm excited about their partnership. There really is a can-do attitude. From the beginning that they took this on, they looked for a way to make this work. They understood the value of this to the community. And one thing about Montgomery College is they understand their connection to the community probably better than most places in the country. This is truly a remarkable institution. As a Montgomery College, a lot of people say it's as good as any college. And it is true, this is strong programs over here that set our students up for success in the future. The other thing that's important to me about this, building a new campus means being able to design a campus for our current needs and the ability to think about what the jobs of the future are going to be. And the future is like tomorrow, and what the needs are from the industries. What do the hospitals need here? What talent pool do they need? What talent pool do we need for the life sciences industries in Montgomery County? What talent pool do we need for the AI and tech industries in this county? We can design a campus starting anew with that in mind from day one. The role it can fill can be much more deliberately focused on filling the needs for jobs in this county. And we want to make sure that we're pulling jobs for this county. We're pulling residents for those jobs in this county. We don't have our companies going to other states to try to find people to work here. We want to make sure that the people who live here can work here. You know, it's great that you got visa programs that you can bring people in from overseas. It has done a lot of good, but to be blunt about it, it would be nice to educate the people who are already here to be able to take those jobs so we don't have to go someplace else for that talent. We should be able to get the talent out of Montgomery County, and this is a step to making sure we do get that talent out of Montgomery County. So like I said, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Adventist participation here. I know the issues they've raised. It's going to be an opportunity for us to advance early education and providing the talent for the child care centers and all those things, Nancy, that you worked on all those years. This is going to become an institution that drives that end of the economic and educational opportunities for people. And shortly, we'll be doing a press conference at the University of Maryland talking what they want to bring to Montgomery County, a world-class AI center in White Flint, so we can jumpstart the connection between life sciences and artificial intelligence. And so we're looking forward to this. We are going to make this a center of excellence. We're going to bring the first graduate level research to Montgomery County, as well as the first campus on the east side of the county. It's an exciting day for the East County. It's an exciting time for Montgomery County. And I don't think you'll recognize this court. I was just talking to the people across the street from us where we see those satellite dishes. There's going to be 400 units of townhomes and apartments just across the street from this. Not a bad location if you're a student going to Montgomery College over here to maybe get a couple of students and rent the townhouse together across the street from school. So a lot of things are happening. This will make a difference. And I'm so glad the council supported this from day one. This is a project that everybody understood was vital for the benefit of the county. We've talked about it, like you said, this is what, Craig, was it 20 years ago? Well, it's done. And thank you, and thank everybody for their persistence, and thank the residents of the East County for persistently pushing us to do the right thing and never being satisfied with what you were handed, always asking why you weren't getting what everybody else was getting. That is beginning to happen. Thank you.
I don't own anything purple, but that's going to have to change real fast, because this is the 5th event that I have had the honor of attending just in the last 6 weeks alone regarding important announcements that this college has made. And as I've shared many times before, and will many times as long as I'm up here on this dais, this college holds a special place in my family because it's where my parents met as students more than 50 years ago. So I feel a personal responsibility to make sure that we take advantage of all of the incredible work that the faculty and the staff and the students have worked to establish now for generations. And this is yet another prime example of Montgomery College helping to make sure that the entire county and our entire region is pointed towards economic development and social justice. Because at the end of the day, this organization actually does, in fact, have a moral compass. And it demonstrates every day in its work and in announcements like this that it works to carry out that moral compass, which is bent towards social justice. And its North Star is living by the mantra that we all succeed when we all succeed. And Montgomery County succeeds when Montgomery College succeeds. So we want to thank the college and everyone who made today possible. When Dr. Pollard and Susan Madden met with me, and I know all of my colleagues 4 years ago formally with this more formal concept, they couldn't get the words Montgomery College and East County out of their mouths quickly enough before I said yes, and I'm sure all of my colleagues felt the same way. And so the road to get us here has been important. And I do want to acknowledge that how perfect the disciplines that have been selected as we launched: small business and entrepreneurship, cybersecurity and information technology, IT, allied healthcare, early childhood and education, and ESL. What a perfect complement of disciplines. All of these can lead to career advancement almost immediately within graduation. All of them represent sectors that are desperately seeking a workforce that is diverse and represents the diversity of our communities, not just because it's morally the right thing to do, but because it makes economic sense. This is a fabulous day and is just another example of what is yet to come. So thank you to the Board of Trustees. Thank you to my colleagues in the General Assembly. Thank you to our federal colleagues who are committed to working through a public-public-public partnership to make sure that we get this over the goal line. And I also want to acknowledge our partners in Montgomery County Public Schools, led by very ably our board president, Brenda Wolf. Thank you so much for your leadership, Brenda. And I also want to acknowledge the board vice president, Carla Silvestre, who has a double role here today. So thank you all again so much for being here. And with that, I will now proudly introduce the chairman of our Education and Culture Committee, Councilmember Craig Rice, who this is just another great example of the legacy that he will leave behind. Councilmember Rice.
Well, thank you very much, Council President. When you're stepping away, you oftentimes reflect on what it is that you've left as your legacy. Both Councilmember Navarro and I have had an opportunity to do that over these past couple of months. And when I have talked to people who have interviewed me and said, what do you look at as your biggest accomplishments? I've found that talking about the fact that I delivered on what I promised, there's no particular one thing. We run for office because we say that we want to make our community a better place, that we want to ensure that there's opportunity for all, so that understanding that some who have privilege may have those opportunities right before them, others may have to work extra hard, and it's up to us as government to eliminate those obstacles that stand in the way. It's up to us as government to make sure that folks are successful in whatever their minds are as being successful, and give them the tools necessary to make that happen. And so when I think about the Germantown Hospital, when I first ran for office and I said that there was inequity that existed in the Up County by not having a hospital, and to be so proud to have that be on Montgomery College's campus, the first hospital in the nation to be on a community college campus. When I look at the, yes. When I look at the Ignite Hub that I just left with the president and Congressman David Trone, who dropped off a little check for $1 million, just $1 million. What's $1 million between friends to expand broadband opportunities here in the county? And now this. It truly is something that comes full circle when you look back and you say to yourself, job well done. But keep in mind, it's not me, it's us. All of you who've been passionate about these issues have been fighting for this for a very long time. And finally, the time is now. It's one of those where when I think about growing up not far from here, I was born and raised here in Montgomery County, grew up off Vallejo Road, so I know East County. East County's home to me. And it's one in which I got to see the disparities that existed just around my neighborhood. I lived in Lay Hill Village, but a lot of my friends lived in Pepper Tree Farms. And for anybody who knows the area and knows the community, things are very different between Lay Hill Village and Pepper Tree Farms, even though they're less than a half a mile apart. And I got to see those inequities growing up and understanding how important it was for us to ensure that education was given to every person who wanted it. That's what this campus represents. People in the East County have long been seeking an opportunity to not have to ride multiple buses to get to a place where they can continue to uplift themselves and build on their educational prosperity. What this represents is educational power to ensure that we're undoing the racial disparities that exist when it comes to healthcare and healthcare access. What we're doing is ensuring that we're eliminating the disparities that exist when it comes to workforce, especially in our cyberspace and IT that is predominantly white, that could be as diverse as Montgomery County. Those are the things that will happen when these doors open. Instantaneously. There aren't a lot of people who can say that about a lot of other entities, but that's what happens here. That's why you invest in education, and that's why you invest in a great institution like Montgomery College. Montgomery College has always been a great steward of the dollars that are spent, but more importantly, the educational capital that they are to deliver. It is empowerment at its best. And as the son of a teacher, then principal, then university administrator, the most important function of government is education. It is truly the game changer. So it's funny because I get to step away from something that I love, but also understand that we are in great hands. When I look at my colleagues who I hope that will return, my folks who are now joining the council, everybody has the right mindset, which is everybody shall succeed, not just at Montgomery College, but in this county, in this state, and in this nation. And I'm thankful to have fought on the battlefield with two very important people who I value and treasure. Councilmember Nancy Navarro has been an amazing champion for her community, for childcare and access. But more importantly, for what is right. We oftentimes get criticized as elected leaders for, somehow, trying to say the right things just to get elected, being on the fence on things so that we don't have to make one group upset or another. The reality is that oftentimes that's not the case. Very rarely do you see elected leaders who actually do that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. People give of themselves and put themselves on the line for what they believe in. And I'm proud to have two people who serve on the Education and Culture Committee with me who do just that. And so I'd like to invite Councilmember Nancy Navarro up to the podium to tell you about her legacy and why this is so important to her. Councilmember Navarro.
Lately I feel kind of like my grandmother. I used to, all the time go visit, and she would say to me, back in the day, we did this and we did that, and a part of me, of course, you have to be gracious and listen to the stories. But now I feel the same way because literally what I have learned is that time flies and you blink and all of a sudden you look back and it's like, whoa, I've been in public service for 18 years. And the reason why time flies in so many ways, it's because you get in Montgomery County to serve with an incredible array of public servants, not just in elected office, but also all of you who are so dedicated and committed to always see continuous improvement. Here in Montgomery County, we're never satisfied, right? We never say, okay, we did this, check the box, it's done, it's over. We're always thinking ahead. And so one of the things I always try to tell my daughters is that you have to be patient and you have to work well with others. And it's worked well with them so far. This particular project falls under the category of you have to be patient and you should never let up. And Jeru Bande is a very important character in the story because, when I was elected to the county council, it was a special election. So when I was elected, I was actually representing the East County, this area. And I was just leaving the Board of Education where I had been president for 2 years, looking at how can we address the academic achievement gap, the opportunity gap from the education space. And of course, East County was always on top of the agenda of discussions to see what interventions we can put in place, what would be the best model, what would be a case study, so the Kennedy Cluster Project came along and so many other things. But then when I was elected, this was an issue that everybody talked about throughout my campaign, but also then after being elected, figuring out what is that nexus. And so in 2010, I presented an actual proposal for an East County, Montgomery College to come to the East County. And I know County Executive Elrich, you probably remember this because you were on the council that time in the Education Committee, and we had all these discussions. But unfortunately, we had this thing called a recession. And unfortunately, that really had a long-standing impact on many of the projects that many of our institutions were seeking. And so the Board of Trustees couldn't put this in their work plan for expansion because they needed to stabilize the institution as it was. However, we didn't stop working towards this. And this day for me is just really, truly full circle in that sense. Because look, it is going to be poised, it's going to be nestled with so many other important projects. When we look at those industries, it is so aligned with everything we have discussed time and time again about how do we align our industries with our workforce. What somebody said just now about, residents of the East County not having access, it's very true. We know that our high schools have a hard time finding internships for the students because we don't have a lot of job centers in the East County. We know that this is an area that is home to a very large continental African community. When I ran in 2009, 40% of the Black people in Montgomery County lived in this part of the county, the East County. And lo and behold, we could see all the disparities, but slowly we've been addressing them. This is going to make such a difference to all those families. It's going to shift this issue of economic sufficiency. Supreme Court is deliberating on affirmative action. Give me a break. We in Montgomery County understand who we are. We're not confused. We don't have an identity crisis. We are a county that is majority of color. We are an example to the nation of how a county this complex can seek a very high quality of life for everyone. Yes, yes. Applaud for yourselves because each and every one of you has a role to play here and has been playing a role. And so, yes, as I step away, I just feel just happy that so many boxes have been checked. But this will not be the end. It will not stop here because this institution, it's going to be critical to the economic development, the social development, economic sufficiency, access to opportunities throughout. And we can be proud for this day. So thank you all for the role that you have played. And thank you for everything that you're going to do moving forward. I appreciate it. Gracias.
I often talk about how the Education and Culture Committee is my favorite committee. And my colleagues laugh at me. But in many ways, it's representative of what we're celebrating today. A seed that was planted. Nancy and Craig, as they transition off the council, working in the legislature, working on the school board, planted the seed of this day many, many years ago, along with so many others. Jeru, Pete, all my East County, I'm using first names because this is a family reunion. And as a lifelong, East County resident, I just am so excited to be here. And I'm ready to take that baton and carry it with future colleagues, with current colleagues, to make sure that every student in this county, and particularly in East County, because proximity matters. When you grow up and what you see around you, that if you think about how when you're young, everything, when you see it later, you're like, man, I thought that was a lot bigger than when I was a kid. It's because your universe is smaller, and what you see in your neighborhood and that 1 mile, 2 mile, 5 mile radius has a direct impact on what you think is possible. And I experienced that, many of us experienced that, and that's going on right now in East County. And now for these students, these families in this area, they're gonna look up and see what's possible, that they can get a great education close to where they live. They can go to their job, their kids can get dropped off, they can learn how to be a great healthcare provider and nurse, like Neka is gonna be. You can learn how to get job training, and you can do it in your community because you're valued in your community. And I can't overstate how important that is gonna be. And even as we stand here today, and this is an awesome building, it's gonna be great, this is not the end. Dr. Williams and I were talking. We are gonna have a world-class facility just like Germantown, just like Rockville, just like Tacoma Park in East County. That will happen, and we will commit to that. And it's going to require a lot of resources, and there's going to be people say, well, maybe we shouldn't, and should we scale it back? And as long as I'm there, I'm not going to let that happen. And I know my colleagues agree. We are going to continue to water and to take care of the seeds that have been planted, the sapling that's coming out today, to make sure that this is a world-class, diverse facility here in East County. Last thing I'll say, Montgomery College is one of the best community colleges in the nation. And I don't say that just because I'm from here. My job when I worked in the Obama administration in 2008 to 2012 was to work with community colleges and to visit community colleges from across the country. It's how I met Dr. Pollard at an event where I was giving her an award recognizing Montgomery College as one of the best community colleges in the nation back in 2009. That legacy continues under Dr. Williams and the great Board of Trustees, and we have to keep it going here in East County. So I'm so excited that we're here today. Thank you to everyone that was involved in it. This is the promise of Montgomery County in East County, a county where everyone can achieve and use their God-given potential to contribute to our great community. So thank you and congratulations.
Montgomery College is a countywide and a regional asset. And this campus in East County is a countywide priority. And it's a countywide priority because we need to make sure that every single person in Montgomery County has access to a world-class education. And we live in an environment where that doesn't end in high school. And so we need to make sure that we connect the fact that we have jobs in our economy right now, and we have people in our community right now, but we haven't connected those people to those jobs. And as a result, we have a county that has incredible assets, but is not as strong as the sum of its parts. And that's why we have been so intentional over the past 4 years and the past 8 years and the past 20 years as these conversations have been happening. It's been said that if you want to build a great city, you build a great university, wait 200 years. And the beauty of a community college and the beauty of this college in particular is we don't have to wait 200 years. We can build a great community, we can build a great county, and we don't have to wait very long at all. So the seeds that we are here were planted 20 years ago. And we're here today, and we need to keep planting those seeds for 20 years from now. And you're hearing a commitment from colleagues, you're hearing a commitment from everybody who is here as part of this effort that we know we're not done. This is just the beginning of what we need to do. We realize that in order to reach our economic potential, we have to have the educational facilities that meet the modern and future needs of our community. And I got to say, we've got a new president. Congratulations. I was honored to be able to join in that amazing festivity and in your swearing in. But boy, it's been an eventful 6 weeks for you. You came in just at the right moment, and I want to lift up Dr. Pollard and all the work that she did. I was joking around with Dr. Williams that it feels like Dr. Pollard loosened up that jar a little bit, and Dr. Williams has come here to open it for us. But we know how much work has come into making this moment happen, and we know we have the right leadership to take us from where we are to where we all realize we need to go. We have some great colleagues who are coming to join us who share in this commitment, and we know that this work is not done, and we know that Montgomery College is the center of our workforce strategy. Montgomery College is at the core of building the type of inclusive and strong economy that we desperately need. We can't talk about growing our economy and being more competitive unless we have and continue to have the great community college here in Montgomery County, and to make sure that everybody in the county can access it. And so we have work to do on our end, not just to build this facility, to make sure we have transportation access to this facility, to make sure we have connections to this facility, to make sure that we build it and we grow it and we continue to provide access to it, and to make sure that we continue to ensure that not only do we have great assets here in Montgomery County that starts with Montgomery College, but that everybody has an opportunity to be part of it, to access it, and to benefit from it. So thank you so much for all the work that everybody here has done. This has not been a council effort. This has not been a college effort. This has been a community effort and a countywide effort. And everybody shares in today's success, and everybody is going to need to be part of the future that we build together through Montgomery College, with Montgomery College, so that our county can grow, can thrive, and can continue to be the place that people want to be, that families want to move, and that young people want to stay and build great lives together. So thank you so much.
I see partners from education, industry, government, and civic organizations. We all know the saying, and it resonated as I was hearing everyone share their thoughts on this experience. it takes a village. We've all heard this saying, and this is a terrific example of that. We're all here because we have a unique role in advancing even more opportunities in the eastern part of our county, right? When I say more opportunities, that's because as we've heard, there are already so many assets that we have driving a vibrant East County, right? The community, right? The community itself, the people, community cornerstones like libraries and recreation centers. There's also growing businesses, robust transportation, rich diversity, and other major partners. When we think about what is here that we're building on and building with, Montgomery College has had a presence in the East County since 2015, when we established a community engagement center inside the East County. Thank you very much. Regional Service Center on Briggs Cheney Road. Since 2015, the college has served thousands of people seeking training and job skills. And these individuals have been empowered to take advantage of classes and learning opportunities, many of them free, such as English classes and computer trainings. That has improved the earning potential of those individuals, bringing it back to another component that we've heard so much here today. And now it's time to expand those opportunities, and we can do that, and we will do that with the help of everyone here today. As I mentioned at the start, the county's leadership and generous support, the county executive, the entire county council, our state delegation, and community members are all what has brought this to fruition here today. It's just a fantastic place. Our county executive, Marc, Elrich's leadership and what started us a few years ago with a feasibility study. Thank you for that. And the expansion of Montgomery College as an anchor institution right here in the East County. And that is what we are seeking. The entire county council has been, as we have heard, consistently supportive and an ally of the college and a tireless champion of this expansion. And I'm so thankful to hear, although I know it before everyone said it, it's always good to hear it, is that you will continue to be a tireless champion. And President Albornoz, about 100% of my wardrobe is purple. So I know a person, I have a connect. We can work that situation out. But thank you for continuously supporting our efforts to serving all constituents throughout the county, people of all incomes, all races, national origins. This is our mission. This is our goal. This is a county, as we know and has been reified here today, that is deeply committed to equity. It is also a county that is deeply attuned to the need for skilled workers to continue building the knowledge economy, right? And this is the nexus. This is where we all are going to have a transformational impact. Local businesses rely on employees whose skills match their needs, right? You heard Councilmember Friedson talk about this. In healthcare, information technology, hospitality services, and more, right? Our local neighbors are eager to step into these jobs, and they can with the right education and training, right? That's where we continue to be supportive. That's where Montgomery College continues to show up with your help. Our mission is to empower people to change their lives with equitable access to education in fields like cybersecurity and information technology, health sciences, small business administration, early childhood education, among so many others. These classes, I'm proud to stand up here and say, will begin at our East County Education Center in fall of 2023. That's less than a year from now. With fantastic access to public transportation, proximity to several local employers, and to very close living arrangements, which I agree, County Executive, be fantastic. I mean, how lovely is that to I'm going to go to class. It's going to take me 30 seconds. It's a beautiful scene. I mean, there will be spaces for innovation, connection, and progress, as well as student advising and other supports here at our East County Education Center. This will be a portal for access and an anchor that enriches the life of the community. And just 2 weeks ago, thank you, wonderful festivity. I agree. I think a lot of us are still recovering. I introduced a goal during a few remarks during the inauguration of mapping 100% of Montgomery College's credit and non-credit offerings to a credential of economic, social, and community impact. It sounds familiar, Councilmember Navarro, huh? Yeah. So by nurturing a pervasive college-going culture throughout Montgomery County, we can open the doors to opportunity, increase achievement, and enhance economic mobility for everyone. I hope people are hearing a common theme. We did not share our remarks. And yes, I am new to Montgomery County, but this is the belief. This is the desire. This is the passion, right? This is the collective ideology. Economic mobility for all. That means progress for our students. That's progress for our businesses, our public school system, and our neighborhoods. This is the type of progress that leads to transformation. Now, I am so grateful to have dedicated and talented partners who are willing to make investments in our shared vision. I say that, I know that from all of our partners here at Montgomery College, being able to share words on behalf of the college. I say that we are absolutely grateful of the investments that so many people are willing to make and continue to make for the shared vision of a vibrant East County. And I am confident that together we will have a transformational impact. And at that, I would like to now bring forward a few individuals, and we're going to start with a very special guest. Our students are always very special guests. They are our purpose, our reason for being. So I would like to bring up Nneka Ndubisi, who is an MC nursing student, and she's going to share a little bit about her experience. So Nneka, please.
I'm a second generation Nigerian American and a second semester yes, and a second semester nursing student at Montgomery College.
All right.
Before attending Montgomery College, I thought to myself, Nneka, what do you want to do with your life? Thankfully, after researching my options, I found Montgomery College, a wonderful school full of countless opportunities and resources right in my own backyard. Upon learning of the renown of the nursing program at Montgomery College, which is on the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus and not far from my home, I decided that this was the path for me. It was practically a no-brainer. Fast forward to the present, well into my second semester as a nursing student, I take a bus route that I know all too well, and I'm thankful for such a short commute to campus. I relax on the bus in the morning or the afternoons with my headphones in, at time reviewing notes for class, or many a time receiving smiles and questions from those on the bus who quickly take note of my clinical uniform. I even see nurses on their way to work, which further ignites my passion. As a nursing student, we receive hands-on education and training in clinicals at medical centers and local hospitals. Adventist Healthcare in White Oak is just down the street, so I can already say with confidence that the ease for future students who will be able to transition from classroom to clinical setting will have a positive impact on their studies. Having access to such quality education not only speaks to the value of preparing students for the workforce, but it also speaks to the strength and health of the community in which we live and serve. Montgomery College's East County Education Center will expand its reach to students like myself who are looking for opportunities to make a difference in their lives. And I know students in the East County who will openly welcome such an opportunity so close to home. And finally, I'd like to thank the College Board of Trustees for realizing the importance of having a presence in East County. I'd also like to give a heartfelt thanks to County Executive Elrich and the entire Montgomery County Council. Your faith in MC and your vision to see what Montgomery County does for this community, it is why this institution continues to change lives in Montgomery College, in Montgomery County, in Maryland, and all over the world. Thank you.
You know, years ago, Nelson Mandela said the following: education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. And Montgomery College is indeed changing the world one life at a time. My introduction to Montgomery College came first through the eyes of my chief operating officer. After living on 3 continents and or working in 60 countries, I arrived here. And my chief operating officer, when he broached the subject of Montgomery College, he said, "Anthony, think Ivy League and then double it." That was my first introduction. And indeed, I want to signal how important Montgomery College is to developing the current and future workforce. At Adventist Healthcare last year, we hired over 1,200 team members from throughout the region. That included security guards, IT experts, dietitians, risk managers, marketing, HR, of course, nurses. We hired 400. So I can say to Montgomery College, we'll take all the nurses that you can produce. My chief nursing officer, and even as important, our doctors say that the nurses who come from Montgomery College are above the cut. They're extraordinary. So Dr. Williams, please thank your educators, your professors, your staff on our behalf for dedicating their talents and time to really growing an incredible generation of nurses that are giving back to this very community in their time and their talents, from the emergency room to the ICU to med-surg. The dedication is unparalleled, and we are grateful. I would finally just signal that we laud the opening of this educational campus on the east side of Montgomery County. White Oak Medical Center is just around the corner, and we look forward to even a more deeper relationship with the college as we continue to truly hire the incredible professionals that they are producing. So we continue to encourage you to change one life at a time, change our world. God bless.
What I'm going to do today is bring you the perspective of the community. And with that, I'll start by saying Minglaba. Minglaba in Burmese means have a blessed day, have an auspicious day, have a festive day. Either one of those, you can choose. But anyway, I only mention that because I came to this country when I was in my mid-teens. When we came to this country, back in Burma, I used to go to the USIS library and read the books there. And Sally, Dick, and Jane was a big book when I grew up. So I always thought this country was Sally, Dick, and Jane neighborhoods. Well, when I came to this country, my parents couldn't afford. They basically came with their clothes on their backs. And so when we came to this country, DC government and the federal government placed us in a projects in Southeast DC. And that's when I first saw the disparity between east of the Anacostia and west of the Anacostia. And subsequently, moving to PG County, it was now the borderline, this disparity between PG County and Montgomery County. Then finally, I moved to Silver Spring and then up here to East County and saw the disparity between East County and West County. And it's strange because my kids all went to Montgomery County schools. My grandkids are all going to Montgomery County schools right now. But there is something that we need to do. 40 years of having no economic development is very impactful for the citizens here, where East County has a huge population of immigrants. We have a large percentage of people in low and medium incomes. We have two-parent wage earners. We have parents who don't have personal cars. We have a lot of these difficulties that we face. But anyway, when I retired from the federal government in 2006, I decided after a couple years to keep that gray matter between my ears busy. So signed up to be a member, got appointed to the board. And it wasn't very long after being on the board that we started hearing from the citizens in East County that where's our school? How come we have to travel 2-3 hours to get to school? When I lived in Southeast DC in the projects, way down in Congress Heights, I went to Wilson up in Friendship Heights. It took 2 hours one way and 2 hours. That's 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock each day. Well, going to Montgomery College, either down in Silver Spring, Rockville, Germantown, it's similar trips. People get tired, they get worn out. So we're looking for equity, we're looking for social justice, and it's just something that has to be done correctly. Do the right thing, as Spike Lee would say. So anyway, I could get into a lot of things. A lot of things that I wanted to say have already been said, so I won't repeat those. But I think that we started a campaign, I think, on the board, basically to talk to everybody about East County, whether it was county executive Marc Elrich or Ike Leggett, our county council members, planning board members, state delegation, whoever would listen, we would try and ask them to try to bring East County. When we first looked at it, we thought, and Nancy Navarro had suggested this earlier also, is that we use the vacant giant grocery store in Burtonsville Crossing as a possible location. But anyway, from there we've come to here, which is good. But anyway, I think what we have to do is, again, I want to thank our community groups like the Friends of White Oak, LabQuest. We have to thank our Director of East County Regional Services Center in working so hard. I know of one person here in East County who's very conservative. I mean, the most conservative person you can think of, short of being, who. And he says he's the hardest working man in Montgomery County, so he's doing the right thing, Jeru. Thank you so much. But Jeru has worked endlessly to advocate for the Montgomery County to be here. He's worked with the Gilchrist Center. He's worked with the Workforce Development Center, the county's Workforce Development Center. He's worked with Carla and our programs to bring the workforce development and continuing education over to his center, which is good. Thank you, Jeru. But we still have a lot of work to do. Okay, and let's just keep going. Again, I can't also avoid acknowledging our Civic and Citizens Association, Calverton, Hillendale, White Oak, Greater Colesville, Tamarack, Calverton, and the Good Hope Estates, as well as others that missed my mind. One other thing that I also mentioned is the development that's taking, the economic development that's taking place. Hillendale, the Burtonsville Crossing, the Viva White Oak, hopefully, the folks across the street, the town center, those are all contributors to our vision to making East County a livable place where people will want to live, where they want to eat, where they want to play, where they want to go to school. And as an Uber driver for my grandchildren, I want to be able to drive not too far also. And with that, thank you very much.
Again, such a fantastic day, and thank everyone for their partnership. It's so exciting to think in less than a year, our excellent faculty and staff at Montgomery College will be providing high quality academic support opportunities for so many residents who will be changing their lives through those opportunities and contributing to their communities. So we're extremely excited. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, everyone.